Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely pumped to have you here today because we're looking at a truly electric night of soccer. Picture this: gorgeous Santa Barbara, California, right on the campus of UC Santa Barbara. This was the second and final game of the U.S. women's national team's January camp. They were coming off a massive 6-0 victory against Paraguay down in Carson and then headed up the coast to face Chile. And man, let me tell you, the energy inside Harder Stadium was just phenomenal. There's honestly nothing quite like the atmosphere of a sold-out college stadium, just throngs of fans packing the stands, all there to see the future of American soccer. Today, we're breaking down a match that wasn't just a win, it was a massive statement. 5.2. That's the staggering average number of international caps for the starting 11 the U.S. fielded against Chile. Just to put that into perspective for you, this was the least capped USWNT starting lineup we have seen in 25 years. Crazy, right? For a program that is literally defined by its veteran legends and these long-standing superstars, trotting out a starting 11 with an average of just over 5 caps is a huge shift. Now, Saturday's match was also remarkably low, with an average of 9.6, but 5.2. That is a team stepping onto the pitch with almost a completely blank slate, just full of raw hunger and untested potential on the international stage. And you know what? That incredibly youthful roster was completely by design. Head coach Emma Hayes really summed it up perfectly. She said, "Let's go somewhere where we haven't played before, where we pack the house." Hayes is a tactical mastermind for sure. She didn't want to just hand out minutes to these young players in a quiet, comfortable environment. No way. She wanted to throw them right into the fire of a roaring, packed house in a totally unfamiliar venue. By bringing this young squad into that intense college atmosphere, she was testing their nerve, their communication, and really their ability to perform when all eyes were suddenly blindingly on them. So this setup created a super fascinating David versus Goliath dynamic for the match. Except in this case, the Goliath was actually in the experience column. On one hand, you've got this intensely young, pretty inexperienced U.S. squad, but standing in their way, Chile's veteran 35-year-old goalkeeper, Terrorero. And what makes this even cooler is that Terrorero, who plays for Colo-Colo, was actually born in California, right down in Burbank. So you have this seasoned veteran shot stopper playing a bit of a homecoming game, trying to shut down this wave of young American attackers eager to prove they belong on the world stage. It really set the stage for an incredible battle of wills right from the opening whistle. Section 1. Early pressure and close calls. Let's dive right into the opening sequence. From the literal kickoff, this young U.S. team wanted to send a clear message. They didn't look nervous at all, they looked lethal. Inside the first 40 seconds, they applied this heavy, suffocating pressure. Jice Joseph got in her on the back, fought off a defender, and carved out a massive opportunity almost instantly. But despite that incredible early intensity, they did face some super frustrating near misses. The U.S. was knocking on the door loudly, but the deadbolt was firmly locked. Emma Sears' performance is the perfect example of this. Inside the first 20 minutes, she finds space, takes a crack at the goal, and agonizingly clanks it right off the near post. Moments later, she gets another brilliant look, shoots, and, unbelievably, hits the exact same post. You could literally see the frustration on her face. But hey, mentality is what separates the good from the great. Right at the start of the second half, Sears gets another chance. She takes an aggressive first touch, looks up, gets the keeper leaning, and then boom, delivers an emphatic upper corner finish past that exact same near post. It was like she was saying, "No way I'm hitting the post this time." Just a brilliant display of relentless pursuit. Section 2. The floodgates finally open. That kind of sheer persistence from players like Sears is exactly what was needed to break down Chile's defensive shape. Chile was playing this very narrow back four, basically packing the center of the pitch and daring the U.S. to beat them out wide. For the first 17 minutes, it was a gritty, scrambling defense that kept the Americans out. But look, when you constantly pepper a defense with pace and perfectly weighted balls into those wide open channels, the dam is eventually going to break. And at the 18-minute mark, Croix Bethune officially opens her U.S. women's national team goal-scoring account. The buildup here was absolute perfection. It starts with this breathtaking, straight-across ball from AO. The vision to spot that seam and deliver the pass with such precision, absolutely world-class. Chile's defense just couldn't recover in time. Bethune receives it, keeps her balance beautifully through the pressure, and calmly slides it past a diving Terrero. The keeper actually got a hand on it, but the shot was just too well placed. 1-0 to the United States, and Bethune is officially off and running. Now, let's break down the mechanics of the second goal because it is an absolute masterclass in center forward play by Jice Joseph. It all starts with tremendous patience. The U.S. is just pinging the ball around the back, waiting for exactly the right moment. Emily Sams connects with Yasmin Ryan. Then Ryan spots a window and plays a beautifully weighted ball into the box. But step 3 is where the magic really happens.
Joseph receives the ball with her back to the goal. She uses her incredible physical presence to literally body the defender, Ramirez. She wraps an arm, uses her leverage to turn her completely, and finishes with a gorgeous strike to make it 2-0. We've seen Joseph do this time and time again in Chicago, and here she translates that exact same physical dominance to the international stage for her very first U.S. goal.
Section 3. A night of firsts. If you're a fan of this team, you're definitely smiling right now, because this match wasn't just a friendly. It felt like a historic passing of the torch moment for the entire squad. We are getting to watch the real-time evolution of the U.S. women's national team. The veteran stalwarts who defined the last decade are passing the baton, and this new generation is grabbing it with both hands and just sprinting forward. To really understand the scale of this transition, listen to this staggering statistic: 32. Emma Hayes has now handed out 32 first caps in her 32 games in charge. That's an average of one brand new international debut per game. Even tonight, we saw players like Io and Riley Jackson step out for their senior-level debuts. Emma Hayes isn't just tweaking the roster here. She is actively and aggressively building the foundation for the 2027 World Cup by making sure every talented young player in the pipeline gets their shot to shine on the biggest stage. We saw 5 goals tonight, and honestly, every single one of them represented a major milestone for this new generation. We already touched on Cry Bethune and Jace Joseph grabbing their very first international goals, but the list goes on. You've got Emily Sams getting her first U.S. goal on the exact same night she wore the captain's armband for the first time. Then there's Emma Sears proving her consistency by scoring in back-to-back games. And finally, Trinity Rodman making her joyful return with a spectacular trademark finish. This isn't just a rundown of stats, it's practically a blueprint of the team's future attacking core. I really want to pause and focus specifically on Emily Sams for a second. Before the game, Sams spoke to the media and made her intentions incredibly clear. She basically said she didn't just want to step on the field and wear the armband. She wanted her leadership to translate into a tangible offensive impact. She wanted to set the tone. And wow, did she ever. Deep into the game, with the U.S. swarming the box, it was the captain, Emily Sams, who was the furthest player forward, perfectly positioned to tap in a close-range cross for the team's third goal. That right there is exactly how you lead by example.
And finally, we get to the 5th goal, which perfectly defines what we'll call the Rodman effect. Trinity Rodman is a generational talent, and it was just wonderful to see her back out there playing joyful, expressive soccer. The play starts with this excellent pace-setting ball from debutant Riley Jackson. Rodman gets it in space down the right side. She completely engages the defender, leaving them absolutely no choice but to bite, and then executes this devastatingly quick cut inside. She takes one look and unleashes a special side-netting finish that the keeper had zero chance of stopping. It's pure class, pure joy, and pure Trinity Rodman. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. The U.S. women's national team has kicked off 2026 with 2 utterly dominant victories, outscoring their opponents a combined 11-0, all while fielding incredibly young, inexperienced lineups. We are seeing unprecedented depth, astonishing creativity, and a hunger that is simply unmatched right now. So, as we look to the future under Emma Hayes, we've got to ask, just how unstoppable is this new generation of the USWNT? The veteran world order has definitely been put on notice. The kids are here, and they are here to win. Thanks so much for joining me to break this incredible match down. Keep your eyes on this squad because they're truly just getting started.